I like the death penalty. I'm not one of these guys that thinks life is that valuable. There's lots of people on the planet. They die all the time. And I have this feeling... I basically put people in this here's the deal. First off, everyone dies. So to me, it's not that tragic when somebody dies. But it's tragic when an innocent person dies. And when a guilty person dies, it's no big deal. As a matter of fact, it's a good thing. It goes beyond, for me, it goes beyond, hey, this is a bad thing or this is a tragedy. It's a good thing. I mean, we could all close our eyes and pick out a whole bunch of names from the past of people that if they would have died, if somebody would have gotten hold of these guys on their 15th birthday, put a pistol under their chin and blown their effing head off, the world would be a much better place.
Sure, my stepmother, if she had died when I'd be well adjusted.
No, that's right. All the money would have saved on therapy. Be awesome. No, I mean, seriously. And I mean, everyone thinks of, Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini and Pol Pot, and everyone thinks about that. There's just your regular guys, too. I mean, there's your basic serial killers or the basic guys. Anytime you take a life. Look, if you find me a guy, here's a pretty simple way of looking at it for me. I've never even really looked at it this way. If you find a guy and you tell me, if I had some sort of magic wand, like the kind of thing they wave around you as a metal detector at the airport when they pull you out of line. Yeah. If you could do that to every 15-year-old kid and go, uh-oh, this guy's going to kill somebody sometime soon or sometime in his lifetime. Good, let's pull that guy out of line and put a bullet in his head.
How dare you?
I would love that. I would love that society. I would be elated with that society. Now we'd have to adjust the thing. Because there's murder, and then there's vehicular manslaughter, and then there's, malpractice suits where people die during operations. Don't get me wrong. I don't want those people killed. If I knew on everyone's 15th birthday that this guy, and less frequently gal, was going to go out and commit murder one, and it was not because it was a situation where her husband physically and sexually abused her for years, and eventually she'd had enough. Yeah. But just went out and killed somebody, I would like that person dead right then. And then I would walk through society a happy man.
I agree.
So I don't care about your life. And when you take someone else's life, well, then you've now relinquished every right, including the right to live, by the way. I'm fine with that. I like the message. It moves things along. And for me, the most important part of it is the families of the victims.
Right.
Because poor Sharon Tate's mom has to make the pilgrimage from Waco, Texas, or wherever the hell she lives. She has to come out here. She has to sit in front of Charlie Manson. She has to sit in front of Tex Watkins. She has to sit in front of all the other Squeaky Fron and all the other whatever's left of the tribe. And by the way, here's how you know there's no God. All the Mansons still doing just fine, thank you. Yeah. 35 years after all this, and 35 years is when you take 8 or 10 people, and even if they're youngish people, there's a decent chance 35 years from now, 2 of them will have been taken by ovarian cancer or pancreatic cancer or something, right? Yeah. Nope. All the Mansons still doing great, still spending our money, still living in the joint. Tex Watkins, by the way, he's siring kids. He has 3 kids from inside the joint. Yep. She has to come out every 7 years. She has to sit in front of a parole thing. She has to look the killer of her daughter and unborn grandson in the eye and have a long, teary discussion about why this guy doesn't need to get out, as opposed to Timothy McVeigh. He's gone. Yep. He killed a bunch of people in Oklahoma City, and a couple years later, pow, he's dust. Yep. We don't have to hear about him writing manifestos from the joint. Geraldo's not going to do it. Just have a discussion with him. He's not going to get married and have kids. He's gone. He killed a bunch of people. We all signed off on it, and then we killed him. Yep. I like it. We move forward. Mm-hmm. Nobody of the 150-something victims in Oklahoma City, none of that family, none of those grieving families, families will, by the way, never forget what happened, but they don't have to go look the guy in the eye at his next parole hearing.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm fine with it.
I see your point. You know what freaks me out? All of the death row inmates who are exonerated when DNA evidence.
I don't like that either. I don't like that either. On the other hand,
it hasn't been proven that one person who's ever been executed in the United States was actually found innocent later.
Yeah, but we exonerated a lot of guys who are going to be
executed. They've never been
executed,
executed, though.
well, yeah, so you both have a point on this, and I understand it. And don't